Alright guys, we are back. It is 2021 and we are officially kicking off the season. We did our draft already. A lot of us had fun preparing our draft. A lot of us were shook at the end of the draft or even during the draft. I kind of want to go into a little bit more detail since it is the first week. Give you guys my picks, see how it goes. And pretty much, we're going to kick off the season. I mean, I feel like it took a while, but it finally got here. Draft day is always like Christmas, but better. And yeah, let's just get it going, Let's just get it going right now because we kind of have to. All right. So week 1 at the ESPN De OCHO 2021, handful to say. We're going to go right here. We're going to start it off with Emery versus Joe, a.k.a. the Weatherman. And honestly, it's not looking too good for the Weatherman right now. Joe, I don't know if it's because of the quarterback or maybe some of the players you got, but the projection's looking extremely low compared to Emery. So Emery's already talking and he's whispering, these talks that he's already going to win, He's high on Edwards and everything, so let's just break down the depth. With the Weatherman, we're looking at Zach Wilson as a quarterback. It's the first ever to happen. I mean, we're high on him, but Joe's really, banking on it. We're going with Josh Jacobs already on his running back 1. I mean, I don't think it's his running back 1 is Joe Mixon, but Josh Jacobs is his running back 2. But a lot of people are skeptics saying, he's a guy that only produces when the carries are there. Now people are tripping on Kenyon Drake. So, who knows? Who knows? It's a big gamble. I like Joe Mixon, believe it or not, this week. So, I think Joe Mixon's going to be fine. CeeDee Lamb, Tyrell Lockett, Allen Robinson. I feel like Joe definitely do have the weapons. Tyrell Lockett is a guy who slowly gets those 1,000 yards and pretty good receptions every year. So, he's becoming Mr. Reliable. Allen Robinson is also Mr. Reliable. He's a great player. He's amazing. Got the hands, got the speed. And plus, it honestly bumps him up a little bit that, if Fields does play, it should bump him up. CeeDee Lamb, I think he's going to be great, honestly. I really do. I'm not really threatened by the other 2 receivers there or even Zeke. I think Dak should have a good time, spreading the ball, finding those open receivers. And CeeDee Lamb should be open. Now, with the Steelers and the kicker with Koo, I mean, it's okay. I don't really want to break down that part just because it's kind of a toss-up either way, unless I see a really great matchup. The defense and kickers, let's just leave them with the defensive player. Let's just leave them out of there. We're going to the concrete stuff. Going on with Emery on the other side. Emery has Aaron Rodgers right now going against New Orleans. That's a shootout all day. I don't care if Jameis Winston is there. Aaron Rodgers getting his money. And like we told Emery, I mean, you got to hope that Antonio Gibson is the guy because Emery is playing Antonio Gibson like if he's the guy. I get it, Emery. You got Gus Edwards, Gus the Bus. He might be legit. He might. But we all know Baltimore's offense is suspect as shit. And by suspect, I mean Lamar runs the ball half the fucking time. So, you got to see what's going on with that. I like Gus Edwards. I mean, I'm still saying Le'Veon Bell's going to come to Baltimore eventually. But yeah, we'll see. I like, for week 1, which is all we're talking about, Emery, you're looking pretty good. Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, and Robert Woods. Oh my God, man. Like, 3 elite wide receivers in my opinion. I mean, Robert Woods gets a bump up with Matthew Stafford coming in. Robert Tonyan, I like him. I think he has the upside. So, on that note, again, we're not talking the defense, kicker, and defensive player. Let's just skip that. Like that, I could get more in depth into the good players, the people, the good people that want to be heard. So basically, what do I have? I mean, honestly, I gotta go with Emery, and it's not just based off the projection, Joe. I'm sorry, Mr. Weatherman, because I feel like I did kind of pass on my medical staff. Hopefully I did, but I do, I feel bad for the people that have to pick up my medical staff. But again, I'm rolling with Emery as far as a week 1 champion, getting them going. So, I mean, he was a little shook during the draft, but for week 1, he's looking pretty good. So we go on to our next matchup. The next matchup right here is Team Carnival Kid number 17, which aka Jesus, aka Venom, going up against Gabe, aka, which I didn't know this, but he was the ultimate pimp because at our fantasy draft, man, Gabe, this fool thought it was Halloween, bro. Came over here with a pimp cane, pimp soup, and, you know, I don't want to speak on who his hoes were, but shit, you know, he made it clear what was going on. So, let's go into Gabe's team over here. He's got Lamar Jackson against the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that's a great game for Lamar Jackson as an opener. Las Vegas Raiders, as we know, isn't a great defense. They didn't really do much to improve the defense. They did some things, but really nothing that really stands out. Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, and those are his two running backs. I think two great running backs. Is Jonathan Taylor really going to be that guy? You kind of have to hope for, because that's what his price was. Now, do I think he's in a good system? Yeah, I think he's in a great system. I think as long as Carson Wentz can really even play, he doesn't need to. I don't feel he needs to be spectacular in that team. Not like in Philadelphia where he had nothing going on, so he had to really be that guy. But right here, I think he has a chance to really just be a sufficient quarterback, and I think he would be way more than sufficient. So if Carson Wentz can play, Jonathan Taylor's stock is really well. Looking at his wide receivers right now, Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, and Marvin Jones. I'm not in love with the wide receiver group, but as far as the week one, play, the upside's there. I like Keenan Allen a lot. Jerry Jeudy I like too, but it all depends on what you're trying to look at. I mean, Jerry Jeudy should be pretty good this week just because I think Cortland Sutton should take most of the coverage from Bad Blackberry, I think his name is, the cornerback from the Giants, who I think is really good. He's an underrated guy. And then Marvin Jones, I get it. People are kind of down on DJ Shark, but I don't know. We got to see if Trevor Lawrence is going to be there, if he's really going to, spread the ball like that. I mean, it's great that he has the weapons, but Marvin Jones, I don't know. He's about 34 years old, 35, whatever, and he's produced, he has, but I don't know. It's a huge risk for me. And then you got tight end Mark Andrews. I think that's a great tight end pick. I think Mark Andrews should have at least a touchdown this year against the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, the Raiders' defense is not ultimately that great, so we can see how that goes. On the other side, Jesus, he's going off of Russell Wilson right now as his quarterback, and Russell Wilson is playing Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is a defense that people are not really tripping on, but they're definitely a low-key defense. They are a pretty good defense. Christian McCaffrey comes back. I think Jesus is very excited for that. He kept us guessing on what his keeper was going to be, but Christian McCaffrey made the most sense. Chris Carson at his other running back, I think, is a great pick. I think Chris Carson was really a running back, that people kind of slept on, but it's just the fact that he gets hurt mostly every year. But when he does get the load, he does produce, so I think he's great right there. At his wide receiver group, we're going with Julio Jones, Adam Thielen, OBJ. Now, the biggest thing for me on this wide receiver core I want to speak on is a lot of question marks. And if you look at his team today at the Sleeper app, because I give you guys the exclusive content, all his wide receivers have question marks on it. And I know, I get it. Like, hey, we're not making a big deal out of it, but I'm just saying it's week one, and these players have question marks on them. So I mean, it's a toss-up, and it's a big toss-up because that bench better be good. I don't want to go into the bench, but the bench of Jesus is okay. Now, if I had to pick a player between these two motherfuckers right here, who would I go with? We got a projection higher, slightly higher right now with Jesus' favor. But then Gabe's team is looking, honestly, these two guys kind of seem like the same people to me. They both have really good really good running backs, but the wide receivers are sketchy as fuck. So with me, I'm going to just go with the older group. I'm going to go with Jesus' group. I think Jesus will have the W week number 1. I'm sorry, Gabe. But ultimately, besides you guys being the same guy, ultimately, I got to go with Jesus. I got to pick a winner here. I can't pick ties, guys. I'm sorry. Okay? Going into our another game right here at ESPN De Ocho week number 1, man. We are barely getting it started. Oh man, football is back, so we going into it right here with Team Chubby Chaser, aka Marcos, aka might be a Raider fan soon because he is moving to Vegas, but hopefully he's end up doing okay right there and doesn't Get too burned over there in the hot sun. And then you're going against Frankie, a.k.a. Cisco Kid, a.k.a. finally made it to our draft this year. He didn't make it to our draft last year, but he made it this year. And he had a good time, I think. We all had a good time. So let's break it down. Looking at Frankie's team, Justin Herbert, quarterback, going against Washington. Washington is a pretty interesting defense. I think they're a really great defense, but they did lose some pieces as far as cornerbacks go. Ronald Darby, they lost a little bit of pieces here and there, but nothing too drastic. Honestly, as long as Chase Young plays, in my opinion, they're going to be fine. Saquon Barkley, I think that's the biggest kind of what if. I'm hearing chirps about him being limited already. So it's a very sneaky pick, but if he does play, he is going to produce, hopefully. People are already saying that this is not going to be the Saquon Barkley that we're used to seeing. We're not going to be seeing the third down back doing them crazy plays anymore. He is limited. He is feeling a little bit tension on his, I believe it's his ankle, because I think he tore his ACL. So, and as we know, running backs with ankles, they got to have strong ankles, you know what I'm saying? Raheem Mostert, I love him actually as a week 1 starter, especially against Detroit. Detroit just is going to be one of those really bad teams, guys. So, A.J. Brown is a great wide receiver. Devontae Parker is an interesting play right there for New England. But we can see how that goes. I think both of those teams have really great defense, but Devontae Parker, I know Gilmore's not expected to play, and I think that's why you're starting him. But nevertheless, that is a great defense, okay? Bill Belichick is a defensive coordinator at heart, so, yeah. Dallas Goedert and David Montgomery to end it off with his tight end and his flex. David Montgomery should see a tough game. The Rams defense is no joke, but I think you kind of have to start David Montgomery based on the position of where he's at, based that Tyreek Hill is not going to play, and Williams if he's going to be limited on snaps too. So, and Dallas Goedert, that's a pretty tricky one for me. I know Zach Ertz is back. You're just kind of betting on the upside that Dallas Goedert is going to be a more valuable player, but due to the fact that Zach Ertz has even bleached his hair, and he's back, and he's over here saying he wants to retire as an Eagle, it's kind of interesting for me, and that's why I wasn't really too high on Dallas Goedert. But moving on to the other side, we see Marcos. We see Marcos actually with a legit quarterback in his presence. He made a high pick. He picked up, Josh Allen on the 2nd round. But guess what, man? We, as a community, all agreed that was the best decision that you had to do. You struggle with quarterbacks. Okay, so I think it's a good decision for you, but as you can tell, it had an implication on the rest of your order. So going into it, Josh Allen, he'll be fine. Starter every day, whatever. But then we look at Jamal Williams. He might be legit if Swift doesn't play. Myles Gaskin is technically your running back 1, and that, my friend, is scary to me. But I think he produces, but I don't see him playing all the games. I really don't. He's a little too short for me. But Week 1, I think he'll be okay. Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, and Devontae Smith. Now, the 2 guys, of course, that we know are going to be producing are those 2 guys, Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill. I think that's a great play for Marcos. Noah Fant, I like a lot, especially with Teddy Bridgewater there. But we've got to wait and see. And typically speaking, tight end is one of the hardest positions to even, get accurate. So we'll see. His upside is there. Devontae Smith, I'm hoping he will be the legit, the real deal, me being as an Eagle fan. But the matchup is also there with him playing, the fact that we're playing Atlanta in a dome. So, I think he'll be fine. Devontae Smith looks like he earns enough separation from these cornerbacks. So who do I got winning this game, ladies and gentlemen? For me, I got to go with the guy who has the running back. So I'm going with Frankie. I get it. Saquon might be limited, but I still somehow feel in my gut, in my heart, that Saquon will be okay. So Frankie, you got the first dub, and rumor on the streets is, Frankie, that you might have one of the best teams this year. I might not totally agree with that, but commission is commission. All right, so we go into our next matchup. Okay, before I head up even to get started on the matchup of the week, but we're going into Oscar, a.k.a. Shook Boy, a.k.a. Mr. Oh, no, that's not him. But he was a little shook. Oscar, since we haven't really heard him in the chat, I think people are shook. I think it's a great idea, thanks to the commissioner, that he put him against his brother, Arturo, a.k.a. R2D2, and a.k.a. 1-2 years ago. We don't know how he won, ladies and gentlemen. We really don't. I mean, this dude literally won. He barely knows any football, but we love him. That's Arturo. That's our guy. But he has won. He is a champion. Let's not forget that. Okay, so we go into the matchup. Let's start up with Arturo. He's got Tom Brady. Okay, Tom Brady, I honestly believe he's just going to dink and dunk all day against this Dallas D. I think the Dallas D has a great run-stopping group, but they can't stop shit as far as the throwing game goes. So that's a great pickup right there. Zeke is going to struggle this week. I mean, this Thursday that's coming up against the Bucs. The Bucs defense is one of the best out there as far as the run. We're going into Derrick Henry. He's a must-start regardless, so I like those two-headed monsters. Don't give up on Zeke, Turo. I think Zeke will be fine. It's just a tough game in the beginning of the opening season. Now, the wide receiver group. This is a very sketchy group as well. Kenny Golladay, Mike Evans, and Mike Williams. Okay, I say sketchy because Kenny Golladay. Do we trust in the talent of that quarterback in New York? Mike Evans. I mean, a lot of people are saying Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown are all the same guys. You know, I do believe Tom Brady can spread the ball around. So we're banking on quarterback veteranship. You know what I mean? I do find the fact that it's interesting you picked up George Kittle on the second round, Turo. I'm not going to lie. I was aiming at Kittle like around the third round, but I think it's a great pickup that you got him there. I think Kittle will have a phenomenal season. He's a must-start every week, in my opinion. And the defense and everything like that, again, I'm not talking about it, but it's looking nice right there for Turo. Oscar on the other side, bro. Dak Prescott, I mean, we already know he's not 100%, but he is going to play. But he's not 100%. We'll see how that goes. Nick Chubb I like, but again, I like Kareem Hunt also. So that's why, you know, but you went with the best value there. Ronald Jones, on the other hand, it's a very, very sketchy feeling for me too. I feel that Ronald Jones is a better running back right there in that situation, but the team likes Leonard Fournette. Something about Tom Brady, he likes Leonard Fournette. So we'll see how that goes, you know. Chris Godwin, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore. I love those wide receiver groups. I think those wide receiver groups are great. Again, is Chris Godwin and Mike Evans the same guy compared to Antonio Brown? Because if that's the case, Antonio Brown went far later than these guys. And typically you want to look and bank for the best value. But they're great wide receivers. TJ Hawkinson should see most of the receptions in Detroit. Detroit's going to be an awful team, but they should throw the ball mostly to TJ Hawkinson. Who do I have winning here? Honestly, I'm going with Arturo. I'm not too hyped about Oscar's team. And Oscar, please don't feel like I'm down on you, but I just speak the facts. I don't play favoritism. You know what the fuck it is. I'm here to win it. I'm here to say fuck everybody. I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to play favors. So fuck all that shit. And lastly, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I already made my pick. But Turo, I got you winning the first week. Somehow, some way, you drafted way better than Oscar. Oscar was shook at the draft. I don't know if it was Gabe and the Pimp Cane, but talk to your brother. Talk to your brother. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on to my game right here. It's me, a.k.a. First Beta. By the way, thanks, Josh, for putting my name out there on the trophy. First to ever do it. We were all mostly there. We all remember the Beta Hard year. So, thank you for that. I'm going up against once to ever do it, Mr. Undefeated, Mr. Hair Bun Addict, Coconut Water included, Mr. Mondo Garcia, and of course, I mean, this is rivalry week, as we kind of know that. So let's start off with Mondo. Patrick Mahomes, of course, as we know, is his keeper, is his starter, is a valuable quarterback. Expected to be maybe the quarterback one again, if anything, and we already know, whoop-de-woo. The running backs right here, let's get into it. Mike Davis, Darrell Henderson. I don't mind these guys. Mike Davis, he's been in the league for about 8 years. I get it, he's not too old. But this guy's been in the league for a long time, and now you want to bank on the fact that he played really well 1 year with one team. Now he's in a different team. Go ahead and take that. Darrell Henderson. A lot of people are not talking about this, but Sony Michel is going to have some type of relationship with this team. Maybe not week 1, maybe not week 2. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like they are going to feed this guy. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly feel that the Rams are going to be a team that just air it out. And why? Because they have Matthew Stafford. He's a better quarterback in general. Amari Cooper, Justin Jefferson, shocking first round Justin Jefferson. Pretty shocking. Kyle Pitts, DeAndre Hopkins. We can definitely see the offense is there on Mondo's side. The offense is there. He is expecting for value for target shares, for yaks on these guys. So I see that. I see that, Mondo. I see what you want to do. The upside is there. But honestly, I'm not going to get a Kyle Pitts, where traditionally speaking, history has told us that tight ends in rookie seasons do not produce. So I'm not going to go that. You can go on that. For me, Amari Cooper is a great wide receiver, but, I'm not in love with that. So let's go to my team. I got Matthew Stafford, in my opinion, as a steal. I think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback. He's going up against Chicago. Chicago's defense is absolutely horrible as far as the secondary goes. And not only that, the Rams' offense is just way better. Okay? Going with Najee Harris. Again, I spoke to my fantasy colleagues about Najee Harris. I love Najee Harris. I feel like I maybe reached for him a little bit, but I felt like he was the best value for that because I'm just banking on the fact that he's going to be a third down running back. James Robinson, I'm also on the same thing. I got him on the second round, a little bit earlier in my opinion that I tried to get him, but honestly when I saw him, I wanted to get him. Cooper Kupp, Scary McLaurin, and I'm going with A.J. Brown, even though I got Curtis Sutton on my bench. But I love A.J. Brown as far as an opening season. This guy is the flash. He is the excitement. He is the guy who wears 3 or 5 chains on his neck while playing, even though you're not going to see him. He is the explosiveness guy. And again, Dallas is just not going to stop these guys. Darren Waller is my tight end. He is my keeper. I love Darren Waller. I mean, he's a must-start every week. I don't really love the matchup with Baltimore since Baltimore is an elite defense, in my opinion. So who do I have winning here? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, league colleagues, and everyone out there, I'm winning week 1. I mean, and Mondo's team, honestly, frankly, looks fucking horrible. And that's just not me just saying that because of, my rival. But damn, learn how to draft, bro. Fuck, I got that week 1 spanking, bro. Put that shit on my spank bank and all that fucking other shit. Okay, so going on to the last game and the game of the week, because you already know I like to close out with the game of the week. I'm going with Josh, a.k.a. Kamish, a.k.a. what does he say? Discount Belichick. I like that. Against Richard, a.k.a. Youngblood, a.k.a. Free Rich. Now, this is the game of the week for me. The tensions have been high. Some people have been ducking some people. Some people have been, blessing people on the court. Some people have been shooking people. I mean, it's just been a crazy offseason for us in the ESPN De OCHO fantasy log. But let's get into it. Kyler Murray as a third-round pick. You honestly don't love it, but do you hate it? I don't know. I mean, some people like it. Some people I don't really, whatever. But we're going with that. Against Tennessee. Tennessee is not really a team that scares me, to be honest, as far as defense goes. If anything, it'll be a shootout, so that's in favor of Richard. Running backs now. Dalvin Cook, Miles Sanders, Austin Eckler. I already told Richard, that's to me the big 3 right there. Sure, it's not the big, crazy 3, but I like it. Eckler as your number 2, arguably maybe, your number 2 behind Dalvin Cook. And Miles Sanders right there as your other guy. That's pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. And on top of it all off, they all have favorable matchups. Maybe not Eckler that so much, but he's a PPR machine. Let's just face it. All right, we're going with Marquise Brown, Robbie Anderson as his wide receivers. A lot of people, this would include Gronk right there at the mat as well. But we already have people saying and questioning Richard's wide receiver core, and then people are saying that it's weak. But that's what they're saying when you draft a bunch of running backs and a quarterback very, very high. Some people are even saying you pressed on and maybe reached on other running backs. But hey, to each his own. We don't know who is going to bank and who is going to bust. So looking at the other team, Joe Burrow, I'm still surprised Josh selected Joe Burrow as a starting quarterback. But I get it. The weapons are there. CEH, Aaron Jones as his running backs. 2 very solid running backs. I feel CEH will have a bounce back year. And Aaron Jones, in my opinion, is just a stud every year. Deontay Johnson, Brandon Cooks, and Corey Davis. Some people even told us that, how you going to talk about my receiving core when your receiving core is not even the best and one of your number 1 receivers is Brandon Cooks? I bring you guys the exclusive shit. I'm not biased. I'm not culturally biased like some other people, but I bring you the facts, okay? So who do I have winning here? This is maybe arguably going to be the toughest game out there, but guess what? I believe in Super Bowl hangovers, bro. I believe in real-life Super Bowl hangover shit because I'm a realistic motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, Josh, I'm sorry, bro. Richard should have week 1 bragging rights, So there it is, guys. We wrapped it up. We did a good job. I feel like we had a great time drafting. I'm still waiting to upload the video of our live draft. I feel like I got a lot of amazing content with a lot of funny shit. I mean, I got little interviews with everyone, and I had a great time, and I feel everyone else had a great time. So we wrapped up week 1. A bit of a long video, but hopefully you guys enjoy. Good luck to everybody except bitch Asmondo. And yeah, let's get it going. ESPN De Ocho out.